Yo, 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 what's going on? What's going on? We got some Saturday football and we got Sunday football. We got a little bit of everything going on, so stay tuned. Let's get into it. But before that, let's laugh at the Rams. Look at this score.
Hey, hold on, this shit ain't funny. It ain't funny, but it is.
All right. Now we're done laughing. Let's get into it.
You're fighting against the black quarterback situation, and then you've got people telling you, your friends, saying that you can't make it. It just shows that some of the stigmas that have been against us for so many years are showing that they were just stigmas. You're like, well, a black quarterback can never make it in college or professional. Everything's opening up now.
It's not just that black quarterbacks are guys. What you have now is franchise elite passers.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Look. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent thousands of racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap.
Yo, if you guys don't know, my name is Keith. I do Black Quarterback Series. I guess you can say I'm the CEO of the Black Quarterback Series, the founder, and all that good stuff. Let's get into it. So, we're gonna start on Saturday. I watched I think it's Big Ten championship. Now, I'm sorry for all my college aficionados. I'm not real versed in college. I'm just watching it for Justin Fields to see who should I cover next year, right? So I'm watching Justin Fields. He was 12 for 27, 114 yards, 2 interceptions. Offense wasn't, other than what I'm going to say towards the end of the segment, the offense wasn't good. Very slow type of game. Northwestern got off to a really big start. Their momentum was high, and then the cream finally rose to the top. And Northwestern just didn't have nothing for Ohio State. And the reason they had nothing for Ohio State is because Trey Sermon decided that he was going to have a 300-yard rushing day. This dude rushed for 331 yards, 2 touchdowns, 11.4 yards a carry. That's ridiculous. The game would have been over a lot sooner if Fields didn't get hurt. He hurt his wrist. You can tell he had the wrist wrapped up. He, you hurt your hand, you do all this type thing. He was doing that. Just wasn't himself because, as you can tell, he's hurt. Now, the top 4 rankings just came out today. It's going to be Notre Dame, Clemson, Ohio State, and Alabama. Of course, the Power 4. I haven't been watching Clemson. I haven't been watching college football this year. But as crazy as this year is, I really have no idea who's going to win. But all I know is Justin Fields needs to get it together. He won't make it past the semis. So that's all I really have for that, for college football. I'm sure next year I will study it more when life is back to normal and I can really hone into some guys, stuff like that. So later on in the day, we had Teddy Bridgewater versus Aaron Rodgers. If you guys want me to do Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes MVP video, just let me know. I think I'm going to do that, but let me know if y'all want to see that. So my problem with Teddy Bridgewater is that they can never get it done. They're so inconsistent. I think I said this earlier in the year. They remind me of the Oklahoma City at the beginning of the run. And Oklahoma City wasn't this inconsistent. And, if you guys don't watch basketball, Oklahoma City is the team that used to be Seattle, but they moved to Oklahoma City. That's the team that drafted Kevin Durant. He's an NBA superstar, 2-time champion with the Golden State Warriors, and Steph Curry and all those. So they're just so inconsistent. If they would have played the second half like they played, if they'd have played the second half that way, if they'd have played the first half like they played the second half, the game would have been a lot closer than it was, and they might have won. When you let Aaron Rodgers do whatever he won in the first half, and then you get down by 21, and you don't necessarily have the talent to come back from that. And Aaron Rodgers played very poorly in the second half. these are the type of losses you get. I'm very disappointed in Teddy Bridgewater. You got to score more touchdowns. You can't settle for these field goals. Trying to jump over the pylon, that is an awful. That play makes sense I love Teddy Bridgewater, but he's not the most, vertical jumper, right? I don't understand the play calling. Teddy Bridgewater has had lower extremity injuries, so to have him try to jump over a pile of grown men, I just didn't think that was the right call. His numbers was 21 for 35 for 21 for 35, 258 passing yards, and a rushing touchdown. They fought hard to the end, though. Like I said, the first half was a lot closer than the second half was a lot closer than the first half, and the first half really shows you what they could be if they put everything together and what they could be as a unit. I still believe in Teddy, but Teddy Bridgewater has to learn how to take more chances. I think sometimes he gets caught up in this, do I want to take that chance, or do I really need to take that chance? But then when he's in desperation, he takes chances, runs around, and he looks really, really good. So I think Teddy Bridgewater has to take more chances. But it's a COVID year. I feel like in a non-COVID year, they might have been a playoff team. They're relatively inexperienced, and this is what happened. So shout out to them for even fighting towards the end, because everybody thought that Aaron Rodgers was just too much for him, and he was just going to. Everybody thought it was going to be 35-7 at the end of the game. So shout out to them for playing hard. So let me just tell you Lamar's numbers. The game was 40-14. It was never in doubt. Lamar did what he wanted to. 17 for 22, 243 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. He played like an MVP. He made every throw he was supposed to, and he beat the team he was supposed to. And now they're fighting. Now they're right in the thick of things for a playoff spot. Oakland has fell completely on their face. It looks like Oakland is not going to make the playoffs. And that leaves room for Lamar to come in. And they possibly make a deep run. You don't want to see Baltimore on Wild Card weekend. You don't want to see them. If we get this Lamar, you don't want to see Baltimore on Wild Card weekend. And I'm kind of glad that they're fighting for a playoff spot, but that way they'll have to sit their stars. They'll have to sit their stars, and their stars will play next week. So yeah, they did what they're supposed to. They went in the games they're supposed to win. And that's really all I can say. It wasn't no epic comeback or nothing like they had last week. It was Lamar being Lamar and a good team beating a bad team. Shout out to Jacksonville. You might get the number 1 pick now this year. So let's get to Mahomes. So his numbers, 26-47, 254 yards, 3 touchdowns. I compare Kansas City Chiefs, more basketball. I love basketball. I compare the Kansas City Chiefs to the Golden State Warriors. You can play as well as you want to play. Well, the Golden State Warriors a couple years ago. You can play as well as you want to play and still might lose by 30. And that's what I saw from the Chiefs. The New Orleans defense wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. If you're playing anybody else but Kansas City, you might win that game. So if Golden State is Kansas City, then who are you going to compare New Orleans to? I'm comparing New Orleans to the Rockets, a really, really good team that you thought maybe, just maybe they can beat them, but ultimately they didn't have enough pieces to beat them. New Orleans had everything. I think Mike Thomas sat out this week. Cam Jordan got ejected late in that game for a punch he threw, which was a really bad decision. And there just wasn't much that New Orleans could do to even stop them, because you knew when they went up by 10, even when Drew Brees took the ball down the field, you just knew Patrick Mahomes was going to make magic and make it happen. And Mahomes magic. That's all I can say. Mahomes magic. He didn't play like, oh my God, Mahomes, but that first half was spectacular. So spectacular in the sense that he made every throw he needed to make. Now, they didn't score any points, but they were playing spectacular. in that first half. Now the second half it got a little closer. They had a whole lot of punts. You might say, how can he play spectacular and have a whole lot of punts? Just go look at the highlights and look at the plays that he made to keep that drive going. The run, the rollout, the dodge. It was magical. It was magical. I don't say this just to be crazy. Mahomes should be the NFL's first 100 overall player. He has no weaknesses. Mahomes has no weaknesses. So that's all I really have to say. They won the game. I think the final score was 32-29. We're waiting to see what the Steelers going to do, but it looks like Kansas City is going to clinch that first round bye, and we'll see what happens. So to go from here, let's go from the most paid quarterback in league history to the second most paid quarterback in the league, Deshaun Watson. 33 for 41, 373 yards, 2 touchdowns. The protection was shaky. But if you put a gun to my head and force me to pick, the protection for Deshaun Watson was flat out awful. The Colts were able to get pressure almost whenever and however they wanted to. Like, the offensive line is just so bad. You paid Lamar Tunsil all this money for what? You spent a first round pick on another one for what? And it just does not seem like this line knows how to block people. It's very frustrating. And it ain't like the Patriots, which we're going to get to later. It ain't like the Patriots to where the Patriots have a pretty decent offensive line and just no weapons around Cam. It's not even this. It's the offensive line cannot block anybody long enough for Deshaun Watson to make any plays. And if I had to give the line a grade, it might be a low C, D. I wouldn't give it an F because it ain't. Deshaun sometimes gets himself in those bad situations for holding the ball too long, but it was bad. Running game was okay. It could be better. They had some really good runs, but it was not enough to take the pressure off Deshaun, which it has never been. There was some really good runs in there that wasn't Deshaun. So it was good. It was good. The defense was a little. I put on my paper. The defense is a little bit better than awful. J.J. Watt didn't even fly off the screen this week. Where are you, Jay? I've been able to rely on 2 people in Houston. Deshaun and J.J. One on offense, one on defense. I've been able to rely on those 2 all season. I don't know where J.J. went. We had Deshaun, as I said, he threw for almost 400 yards, 2 touchdowns. I'm not sure what his completion percentage is, but I'm sure it was in the high 70s. Or maybe the lower 70s, mid 60s. But I don't even know what it is with this team. And you're talking like, oh, it sounds like you're talking about they got blown out. No, they didn't get blown out. They didn't get blown out just because Deshaun is magical. Kiki QT fumbled the ball. I'm going to try to show it. With the ball on the last possession that pretty much sealed the game. And this is like the 4th time this didn't happen within the last month and a half. I can only imagine how Deshaun feels. You work hard the whole week, you prepared, you have a great game plan, and you in the position to win, and then somebody not you messes up. And now you have to go to the press conference and try not to go off on your teammate because you need him next week. That's a tough situation to be in. Free Deshaun. And so we're going to get to a quarterback that has kind of the same issue, but it's kind of like reversed a little bit. We're going to get to Cam Newton. Cam Newton was 17 for 27, 209 yards. I'm sure he had some decent rushing yards. If it's anything significant, I'll put it on the screen. You got to score touchdowns. You can't get field goals. Way too many field goals. Tua didn't score. They didn't play well. But the fact that they scored touchdowns instead of field goals helped them win. If Cam scores one touchdown, that changes the whole game. That changes the complexity of the whole game. Because Cam didn't play bad. He didn't even turn the ball over. And the time he did turn the ball over, it came back because somebody had touched it going out of bounds. So You got to score touchdowns. I'm not trying to avoid Cam. I'm not trying to make it seem like it's not Cam's fault, but it's not Cam's fault. He got hurt playing with nobodies, trying to make the best of a bad situation, and that's what the COVID and everybody not playing and the offense being garbage and Cam trying to stay healthy. It's just all coming to a boil right now, and who knows if they might even win another game with the Jets coming in town. Just coming into town, coming off a win. So just to put a bow on this, they have to do better. They have to do better. They have to get touchdowns instead of field goals. And that will come. If you get touchdowns instead of field goals, that completely changes the whole aspect of this season. They could be 9-5 right now. 9-6. I would not be surprised if they could have been 9-6. They could have also not won a game. They could be 1-14. So they're in the middle. So I'm not bad. I just want to see them get a couple. I think it's one more week left. You got to win. At least win. Hopefully they sign Cam back. They can sign some good free agents. You might get some young guys in the draft. The world will be back and running up like normal by this time next year. And hopefully they can run it back and we see what happens when they hold healthy roster. Because I don't think Cam is the problem. But it's like, what else do you have to lose at this point? So I wish Cam the best. And this is also the most untalented offense I've ever seen. Cam played with some bad offenses in Carolina. But this is by far the worst offense he's ever played in. Now, I know Cam struggles with accuracy. He's struggled like that his whole career. But come on, guys. It's not it's not all Cam. It's not all Cam. Like, be honest with yourself and take your biases out of it. It's not all Cam, because you give Tom Brady this offense. You give Tom Brady a shortened offseason. You give him no preseason. You have damn near 70% of his team opt out on defense. And you give him COVID in the middle of the season. And he's still producing at a somewhat decent level. Like, I don't even think Patrick Mahomes could overcome all those circumstances. But he's playing well for what he got. He's doing what he can with what he got. I compare Cam Newton situation in a sense to Dwight Howard. You know how Dwight Howard thought he was better than what he was, and then he didn't want to come off the bench, but then after a while he started to mature and be like, you know what, I should come off the bench. And then he ended up coming off the bench, contributing, and then he won a championship. That's the kind of way that's kind of how I see Cam. And Dwight Howard, the center who played for the Magic, and then he went to the Lakers and won a championship this season. If Cam Newton can get into an offense that's, I wouldn't say tailored around him, but has enough talent to overlook his deficiencies, like what Brady got in Tampa Bay, he can be successful. You should put him in an offense where it's like, here, Cam, you do it. I would hate to see this offense without Cam Newton in it. So just imagine this offense without Cam Newton in it. I'm gonna end the Cam segment on that. We have Russ versus Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins has came back because Alex Smith got hurt again. It's nothing serious. I think it's just I'm gonna look for the injury and I'll put it up for you guys. So let's go with Russ. Let's do Russell Wilson first. 18 for 27, 120 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Russ, he didn't look like MVP Russ, but he looked really, really good. He looked really sharp. He looked like he was really there mentally. He just played a lot. He played freely. He played within the within the confines of the offense, and he did Russell Wilson things, and they got the win. But Haskins didn't make it easy on him. They didn't make it easy on him because Haskins himself was 38 for 55 with 295 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. So they didn't make it easy on him. They fought hard. You thought it was going to be a blowout very, very early, but then the Redskins came back. The Redskins, I don't know how they look right now, but the Redskins will have the best defense in the league at some point within the next 5 years. I think they're top 5 now. They will have the best defense in the league at some point within the next 5 years because that defense is ferocious. The fact that as a team, the Seahawks rushed for 181 yards and a touchdown on them is that's something to be proud of, because that's not a slouch over there. That's Washington. That front seven is nasty. So like I said, Dwayne Haskins played well enough to win, but Seattle was just dominant. That last sequence of plays at the end, 2 sacks, 2 quarterback rushes, and I don't think they picked the ball up, but they ended up batting it down to win. The defense played out of their mind. That's that pocket of segment. If I'm Pete Carroll, I'm taking that, and I'm like, look, if y'all can play like this for four downs, there's no reason y'all shouldn't be able to play like this for 4 quarters. So shout out to Russ with the Rams loss. I think they clinched the NFC West. They clinched the NFC West. Shout out to Dwayne for coming out of the game, or coming in the game cold and balling. He played well. I didn't see nothing really wrong with his game, other than some of the throws weren't as accurate as they could be. He's only in the second year, though. People forget that he's only in the second year. So shout out to both of those guys. That game was good. But ultimately, the best game of the night was Jalen Hurts versus Kyler Murray. These two Warriors, I think they both played in Oklahoma. These two former Oklahoma quarterbacks, they both played well. Jalen Hurts, I think Jalen Hurts should have gained a lot of respect from this game, win or lose, right? The Cardinals ended up coming away with the win, but it wasn't because Jalen Hurts didn't try to take it from him. Jalen Hurts was 24. First of all, way too many passes for Jalen Hurts. He's advanced better in passing than I thought he would, but that's way too much. I don't even want Patrick Mahomes throwing these many passes. Not Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and I think he's a ways better passer than Jalen Hurts is. He's 24 for 44, 338 yards, 3 touchdowns. I think that's way too many passes. I don't know why they passed so much, but it worked. It almost worked. The final score was 26-28, I think, Arizona. Hurts made some throws, though, that I didn't even know he can make. I was like, whoa. I thought Hurts was one of those just, I'm going to run everywhere. But he made some throws that I was very surprised about. It gives you something to build on. The Arizona receivers it was a play by Larry Fitz in the end zone. It was a couple catches by my guy D-Hop. These guys are just making phenomenal catches. Even Jalen's receivers. Now, his receivers were a lot more open than Kyler's was. But Kyler put some balls in there that you like, wow. And Jalen did it for a couple series, and you were like, okay, this guy can be something. This guy can be something. Ultimately, really good game. Arizona stays in the playoff chase. Now, I don't know if they can get to the playoffs. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked at the brackets yet. If I get a chance this week, I will go through the brackets and break them down and look at all the scenarios. But I know Arizona's still in the playoff chase. Both these guys play well. Oh, I'm sorry. Kyler Murray was 27 for 36, 406, 3 touchdowns and an interception. Kyler Murray is just a little star. Just a really little star. Like, he don't do nothing. His personality is not one of a superstar. Neither is Russ Wilson. It's not of a superstar, but dude is he's going to be a super duper star. He played well as well. They both played decent. Nothing to go, oh my God, I can't believe they did this. But they played well. 3 touchdowns each. Both of them threw for 330 yards. I think these guys are going to be the face of the NFC for a long time, along with Russ. I'm not sure what Dwayne Haskins is going to do. So that's pretty much all my breakdown, and analysts, and my opinions all on this week of Black Quarterback Series. Come check back next week, and I have more opinions, and you get to see me and all that good stuff. Y'all take care.